Hi, welcome to Budget MTG Decks. All magic fun, all cards under $1. Now, milling your opponent has long been a cherished win condition for those players who think attacking is for savages. The only problem is that it usually takes too long. With that in mind, let's have a look at 5 infinite mill combos you won't believe our budget. Combo 1, Grinding Ornithopter Renewal. For this combo, we're going to need a Grinding Station. Grinding Station can tap to sacrifice an artifact, and then target player puts the top 3 cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard. Additionally, whenever an artifact comes into play, we get to untap Grinding Station. We're also going to need Ornithopter, which is a 0 mana flying artifact creature. And we're also going to need Enduring Renewal, which states that whenever a creature is put into our graveyard from play, we can return it back to our hand. Now, to make the combo go off, we're going to need Grinding Station, Ornithopter, and Enduring Renewal on the battlefield. We're going to tap Grinding Station to sacrifice the Ornithopter. Hence, target player puts the top 3 cards of his or her library into her graveyard. Ornithopter goes to the graveyard, then because of Enduring Renewal, goes back to our hand, and we can once again cast Ornithopter for 0 mana. Ornithopter enters, and as it is an artifact, we untap Grinding Station, and we can repeat the process an infinite amount of times, making sure that we can have target player put the top 3 cards of his or her library into her graveyard an infinite amount of times as well. Combo 2, Altar of the Deadeye Faeries. For this combo, we're going to need Altar of the Brood. Now, Altar of the Brood states that whenever another permanent enters the battlefield under your control, each opponent puts the top card of his or her library into his or her graveyard. We're also going to need a copy of Deadeye Navigator, which is a creature that can soul bond with another creature entering the battlefield, and then both creatures can pay 2 mana to exile this creature and then return it back to the battlefield under your control. And we're also going to need Cloud of Faeries, which when entering the battlefield allows us to untap 2 lands. To make the combo go off, we're going to need Altar of the Brood and Deadeye Navigator on the battlefield. Then we're going to pay 2 mana, cast Cloud of Faeries. As Cloud of Faeries enters, we soul bond it to the Deadeye Navigator. We will untap the 2 lands we used to cast Cloud of Faeries, and it will trigger Altar of the Brood, making each of our opponents put the top card of his or her library into his or her graveyard. Now we have 2 mana once again, which we can tap to exile Cloud of Faeries, have it enter the battlefield once again, triggering Altar of the Brood and untapping those same 2 lands. We can repeat this an infinite amount of times to make sure we mill our opponents an infinite amount of times as well. Combo 3, Knacksaw Heartstone Favor. For this combo, we're going to need Knacksaw Click on the battlefield. It states, it's a creature that states that for 2 mana and untapping it, now normally we tap creatures, but in this case untapping it, we get to have target opponent remove the top card of his or her library from the game, and until the end of turn we may play that card. Essentially we mill them for 1. We're also going to need Heartstone on the battlefield. It states that activated abilities of creatures cost 1 colorless less to activate. So that means that when these 2 are on the battlefield, Knacksaw Click's ability costs 1 blue. Finally, we need a copy of Karametra's Favor. If we enchant a creature with Karametra's Favor, we get to draw a card, but more importantly, we can have that creature tap to add 1 mana of any color to our mana pool. To make the combo go off, we're going to have Knacksaw Click on the battlefield and Heartstone on the battlefield, which means that Knacksaw Click's ability costs 1 blue. Then we're going to enchant Knacksaw Click with Karametra's Favor. Now we can tap Knacksaw Click to give us 1 blue mana. We will now use that blue mana to untap Knacksaw Click and have target opponent remove the top card of his or her library from the game. Now we can once again tap the creature to give us 1 blue mana and once again untap it, paying the blue mana to mill our opponents. We can essentially do this an infinite amount of times, and we're going to be milling our opponent an infinite amount of times as well. Combo 4, Codex Tidewater Bracers. For this combo, we need a copy of Codex Shredder on the battlefield. The Codex Shredder can tap to have target player put the top card of his or her library into his or her graveyard. We're also going to need Tidewater Minion. Tidewater Minion can tap to untap target permanent. And finally, we're going to need a copy of Illusionist Bracers. Now, whenever an ability of equipped creature is activated, we get to copy that ability. To make the combo go off, we're going to have Codex Shredder on the battlefield, Tidewater Minion on the battlefield, and it will be equipped with Illusionist Bracers. Now we're going to tap Codex Shredder to have target player mill 1 card. Then we're going to tap Tidewater Minion to untap 2 target permanents. We choose Tidewater Minion and the Codex Shredder. So now both cards are once again untapped, and we can once again tap Codex Shredder to mill target player 1 card. We can do this an infinite amount of times and mill our opponents an infinite amount of cards. We can replace Codex Shredder with Grind Clock, and we can replace Tidewater Minion with a Phaedo Alchemist, and essentially the combo will remain the same. Combo 5, Altar, Xathrid, Conspiracy. For this combo, we're going to need Altar of Dementia on the battlefield. It states that we can sacrifice a creature, and then target player mills the number of cards equal to the sacrificed creature's power. We're also going to need Sacrifice Necromancer, which states that whenever this guy or another human creature you control dies, put a 2/2 black zombie creature token onto the battlefield tapped. We're going to need a copy of Conspiracy, that when it enters the battlefield, this enchantment states that we can choose a creature type, and then all our creatures are that creature type. And finally, we're going to need Acolyte of Xathrid, which is just a 0/1 human. To make the combo go off, we're actually going to have all the cards on the battlefield, with Conspiracy having selected Human as a creature type. Now we can sacrifice the Acolyte of Xathrid to the Altar of Dementia. It doesn't actually mill any cards, but as a human has died, we get to put down a 2/2 black zombie human creature token onto the battlefield. Now the token that Sacred Necromancer creates is a human because Conspiracy states that all our creatures are also human in addition to its other types. Now we can sacrifice the 2/2 black zombie human to the Altar of Dementia, having our target player mill 2 cards. And as a human has died, we get to put down another 2/2 black zombie human token onto the battlefield tapped. We can repeat this an infinite amount of times to mill our opponents an infinite amount of cards. Well, those are the 5 infinite mill combos you won't believe our budget. Remember, all the cards we use cost less than $1, so it won't hurt your pocket too much to give them a try. Although you should use these with caution, as they're not a lot of fun to play against. Finally, we'd like to ask you to press that subscribe button, as it lets us know that we're doing a good job, and it allows us to make more top 5 lists. Thanks for watching, I'm David, and this was Budget MTG Decks.